All right. So thank you everyone for joining us for the latest in our series of best practices sessions. And for those of you joining for the first time, I'm Justin Daniel, one of the business services consultants here at Bloomreach, and I'll be your host. When last we met, our topic was best practices for using pathways and recommendations widgets. All sessions, including that one, are recorded and uploaded to our landing page. So if you do miss one or there's a topic you really want to go back and review, you can find them all on our landing page. I will put the link in our chat for those of you who have not seen that page before. The recording from today's session will be made available in the next day or so, probably by or before Monday. A couple of procedural notes for all of you before we dig into today's topic. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see a Q&A section. We will monitor this during the session to see what kind of questions you might have, and then we'll answer them as quickly as we can. At the end of our session, we will share a link for a survey. The intent is to understand how useful these gatherings are to you, and also try to solicit some ideas for future topics. If there's something we haven't covered yet that you're really curious about and would like to see covered here, please do take a moment to fill in that blank. So this month, our topic is best practices for identifying quick wins, or what we call low-hanging fruit within categories. Presenting that topic is going to be Ali Gorley. She is a senior business services consultant at Bloomreach, based out of London. In her role, she manages the bulk of our customer training sessions and ongoing business services engagements throughout the UK. She's here today to discuss ways she has successfully identified low-hanging fruit within categories for customers like yourselves. So with that, Ali, I will hand it off to you.
Thank you, Justin. I'm really excited to talk about this topic today. It's something that I love talking to customers about, because I think low-hanging fruit is what everyone's looking for. What are the quick wins in my business that I can make? And specifically for those of you on the call who are responsible for revenue driven through browse, or what Bloomreach calls merchandising, I also call category pages. This topic's going to be one that's going to be a focus for you. So the problem statement is that merchandisers, category managers in the UK, typically called online trading managers, are responsible for the navigation experience, or what we'll call today category pages. This includes the sequencing on these pages, structure of the category tree, marketing messaging, etc. So in a time where there's an increased focus on driving optimization and top line improvements, these teams are looking for insights into where they can quickly enhance the customer experience on category pages to drive revenue. So while this is often accomplished by optimizing top performing category pages, which we know teams are focused on, many merchandisers that are working with Bloomreach are spending time outside of their top performing category pages to find the category pages with what I'll call low-hanging fruit. So the category pages that are not performing well. They're on a mission to understand why their customers are struggling to add to cart, to convert, to bring money into the business through these pages, and they're looking to react quickly. So what is low-hanging fruit? Low-hanging fruit refers to the tasks, actions, or goals that may be most easily achieved. The expression low-hanging fruit is used to describe an action that takes almost no effort. In e-commerce merchandising world, this means things that you all be familiar with to some extent, sequencing more relevant products on a particular page, boosting or burying facets, or you might call these filters, adding subcategory links to a category page, adding links to any page to make it easier for the customer to get where they're going to next and reduce the amount of clicks, turning off a category page from showing on the live site. So it's not accessible through your paid or organic search channels. So where do I find these low performing category pages within the Bloomreach dashboard? For those of you in the US or North America, you'll find them through tools.bloomreach.com. If you're outside of the US, you'll find them through the dashboard tools.bloomreach.co.uk. If you go into the Bloomreach dashboard, you will notice in the Insight section a line that is called Improve Category Navigation. If you select Improve Category Navigation, you will be brought into the screen that is highlighted here on the right. You'll see a series of reports that are specific to improving the category experience on your specific site. Reviewing these low low performing category pages and taking action on low hanging fruit can result in many low effort actions that result in a large impact. So the thought process here is many small actions can lead into a big impact number. So when you click into this improved category navigation section of the Insights tool, the first 4 reports that you'll see are what I like to call the big 4. So the 4 reports that Bloomreach is highlighting KPI issues for category pages. So the 4 that you'll see in this order are low converting category pages, so pages that have a low conversion after rate, high exit rate category pages, categories with potentially missing products, and high next search traffic category pages. All of these pages are going to highlight to a merchandiser or an online trading manager, an analyst, potential to dig in and optimize. I'd like to highlight an example of how you might think about using these reports. So if I, for this exercise, use the high next search traffic category page report, which is a mouthful, this is going to highlight to me category pages where there's a high amount of my customers who use the search bar next. If a high amount of your traffic to a particular page, their next action is using the search bar, this can indicate that they're not finding what they're looking for on the particular page that they're looking at. So there's a potential to optimize and make the customer experience better for this specific page. So in this example, reviewing the high next search traffic category page report, I identify that my category for Passover, so this category ID number 117400, has a 25% next search traffic rate. So it means in the overall visits in the last 30 days, about 25% of those visits have used the search bar directly from that category page. So this is, again, highlighting an opportunity to me that I can improve the customer experience. But the next natural question is, what are they searching for? So if you use the caret down from this report in the high next search traffic report, you will find the site searches directly from this category page. This is the report that's going to tell you what are people searching from this particular page? Are there any patterns in what people are looking for? And what's the number of visits that is going and searching each of these different queries from this page? So this report's going to allow you to dig deeper into what customers are searching for and see if there is, in fact, something that you can optimize here. So when I click into this site search directly from this category page report, you'll see highlighted here that there are 2 specific search queries with a higher frequency. So Jewish is the first one. The second query is kosher. So these are search terms that someone is entering into the search bar after they go to the Passover category page. This provides an opportunity for us to optimize here. And the questions that you want to start asking yourself in this situation is, does the search frequency warrant an action on the page? So how many times is someone searching this particular query? And does that type of action warrant an optimization on this page? The second question you might ask to optimize is, where are the kosher items merchandised in this category page? Can I boost those products to make them more easily accessible to the customers who are coming on this particular page? And the third is, what does my category tree structure look like? Am I making it easy for the customer to navigate to other related category pages? So if I'm on a Passover category page, what might I be looking for next? And is the category structure and the layout of this particular page and the links on that page making it easy for customers to get to the next place on the website that they're looking for? A pro tip when you're going through these specific reports is to use the status section on the left-hand side, which will connect directly to the activities area of Insights. If you're not familiar with the activities section of Insights, it's a pre-post analysis tool. So if I go ahead and I boost all of my kosher products on a Passover category page to the top of the page, I can then put an activity in which will put a date stamp into the tool, which will allow me to track my metrics before I made that change and after I made that change. That helps me then be able to know that the change that I made was improving the metrics on this page, which is why I optimized it in the first place. So the key takeaways for low-hanging fruit for category pages are really that in a time where every optimization, dollar, pound, euro counts, taking the opportunity to find and action low-hanging fruit is really important. Reviewing your low category pages to find quick wins is a great way of finding low-hanging fruit. And to find out more information about Bloomreach Insights, if you're newer to that section of our dashboard, we've added the link to our documentation. To find this particular example and the area that we recommend focusing on for low-hanging fruit related to category pages, you'll want to go to the Insights section of the dashboard and navigate to Improve Category Navigation, which is in the Opportunities tab in Insights. Reviewing the big four, as I call them, weekly, if not more regularly, is our recommendation. So as a merchandiser responsible for category page revenue, conversion rate, add to cart rate, reviewing your low converting category pages that have a high exit rate, category pages that might be missing products, or category pages that have a high amount of site search traffic next are really good places to start your optimization strategy. With that, I'll hand you back to Justin to walk through our next steps.
Thanks so much, Ellie. All right, everyone. So hopefully that resonated with you. We don't have any open questions right now. I'm going to go ahead and put the survey link into the chat for everybody to take. So we have a few minutes here to take questions, but first a quick reminder. You do want to make sure to join us again on May the 20th for our next session. We'll discuss how to prepare, the topic's still being determined, but we will send that out through the notification emails for the sessions. So I will pause here and allow folks to ask questions if they have them. Again, using Q&A or chat would be just fine. And while we wait on that, so Ali, question for you here. So we have the ability to do a little pre-post analysis on some of these actions that we can identify in the reports, which can be pretty useful. What are your thoughts on when you would want to A/B test versus do a pre-post analysis on something like this? Like, what have you seen so far?
Yeah, so I think the decision to do a pre-post test versus an A/B test is really two things. I think an A/B test is really appropriate for a category page with a high amount of traffic. It's going to take you a pretty long time to make a decision based off of statistical significance if there's a low amount of traffic to a particular page. So a pre-post analysis might be an easier way to go. And the second is, how big is the change that you're making? So if we're moving one or two products, maybe not a material change to that particular page, but a large change to a particular page is a really great use case for an A/B test. There's several other reasons that you could do an A/B test, but a pre-post analysis is another great tool, especially if the optimization is a long-term action and you're not optimizing that page frequently.
It's not like what you're saying is for some of these higher traffic pages, that the high hanging fruit, maybe, if you will, it's the risk is greater. So potentially A/B testing those things would be sort of a wiser approach. Whereas with the true low hanging fruit with these lower traffic pages, it's not quite as critical. So a pre-post analysis is pretty sufficient. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
And as you're doing your pre-post analysis, what are your thoughts on the duration there? How long would you look at pre and post?
Yeah, so our recommendation is typically to start with 30 days. The window, we recommend not really going below 2 weeks. So I typically advise people 30 days plus, if possible. The window tends to get smaller if people need to merchandise that page more frequently. So if there is If there are more actions happening on the page, then obviously you need to reduce that window, but usually not below 2 weeks, just so you have a sufficient amount of data on both sides.
That's a good point. And for those of you who don't know, so in your pre-post analysis, it's just looking at that page 14 days or 30 days prior and 14 or 30 days post change. It's unable to isolate that per se. Whereas with an A/B test, the page is anything that happens on the page, whether it be a sale event, an out of stock issue, whatever that is, will be applied consistently across it. The only variable being the changes that you made. So pre-post analysis definitely comes in handy, definitely very useful, but that is something to keep in mind. The example I use a lot is, if you make a change on February 30th and you look at the 14 days, I'm sorry, November 30th, and you look at the 14 days prior to that, which would include Black Friday, and the 14 days after, which might not include any kind of major sale events, you can see a pretty big disparity there, making it appear that your change was not necessarily a great idea when in fact it's being impacted by some pretty extreme other factors. All right, so last call for any questions anyone might have. If not, you're free to drop off. Again, please do take a moment to fill out that survey. Again, looking for topics, looking for feedback, anything we can do to help make these sessions as impactful for all of you as possible. But if you don't have any questions, please feel free to drop off and we'll hang back here for a few minutes just in case. Folks slowly starting to drop off here. All right. Well, Ali, this is where we will end it. Again, thank you so much for hosting today. Thank you for bringing the topic. I think it was really good information. I hope all of you did as well. Have a great rest of the day, everybody.
Thank you.